So children, we will read from this already the name of the chapter I have written on the board. What is government? Yes, what is government? I know you are not having the book, so and it's quite problematic for you to carry on with the class in this manner. But what could be done? Okay. Participation. Why do we have regular elections? You have already read in the previous chapter that people make the decisions in a democracy. So we are living in India, and you know that in India we are having this democratic type of government where people they decide, people elect their leaders, and these leaders in turn represent people in the state government or in the central government. Not only that, these leaders or these representatives only, they just think for the welfare of the people who has given their votes to that particular party or to that particular leader. So why do we have regular elections? You have already read in the previous chapter that people make the decisions in a democracy. Through voting in elections, people elect leaders to represent them. These representatives take decisions on behalf of the people. So we all cannot go to the parliament or to this state government place. That means in our state legislature we cannot go there. And then these people, these leaders or these representatives of ours, they what they have to do, they are our representatives, so they have to take the decisions for our interest and for the welfare of the citizens of India. So in doing so, it is assumed that they will keep in mind the voices and the interest of the people. So while in this manner, that means okay children, so there is some sort of problem. That's why I have to just stop it in between. Just let me take the attendance first. Who is present? Let me take it. Today is 15. So Aftab, then Agnik, Anubhav. Where is Anubhav? I cannot see here. Where is Anubhav? Anubhav, 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 Anubhav. Okay. So in doing so, it is assumed that they will keep in mind the voices and interests of the people. Okay. All governments are elected for fixed periods. In India, this period is 5 years. So once a government is elected, a governing body is elected, it cannot be like that, that it is for a continuous process. That means it will never end, it will continue for years after years. No, it is not like that. Definitely, whenever a government is elected, it is elected for a fixed period. And in India, this fixed period is the years of 5 years. Or better to say, in India, a government is elected for 5 years. So all governments are elected for fixed periods. In India, this period is 5 years. Once elected, governments can stay in power only for that period. If they want to continue to be in power, then they have to be re-elected by the people. This is a moment when people can sense their power in our democracy. In this way, the power of the government gets limited by regular elections. So, people can feel the sense of democracy during the time of this vote. When the vote comes, at that time people can sense the better to say they can actually realize what is democracy. So during this time people, they can make their choice, and if the government, the present government, it wants to be in office for another 5 years, then it has to get re-elected by the people of India only. And in that case, what the government has to do? The government has to take all the initiatives, the government has to just take all the measures for the improvement of the citizens of India, or for the improvement of the people. If it is done, then again people will re-elect them. Otherwise, they will not they cannot be in their office anymore after the end of that 5 years. And when you will come to some senior section, at that time you will come to know that even before the end of this term of 5 years, the government can be removed from the office. So even before the end of this 5 years term, a government can be removed. About that one you will come to read when you will come to class I think 8 or 9. At that time you will come to know that how and why this can be done. So now here we have to remember that once in India, once a government is elected, it is elected for 5 years time. That means for a term of 5 years. And after that, if the government wants to be in office, it must get itself re-elected by the people. And for this re-election, or better to say that if they want, people must give their, or must cast their vote for them, at that time they have to do all sorts of welfare activities for the people of India. Then only people will give their, or cast their vote, better to say cast their vote for this government. Otherwise it will not be like that. So, and in this way the power of government gets limited by regular elections. The government, if it is for a term of, or if it is in office for everlasting period, once elected, if it is said that the government will be holding the office, or the government will be there in the office for a everlasting time, everlasting period, or for 10 years or 20 years or something like that, at that time the government can do whatever it feels. But no, it is only for 5 years, and within this 5 years the government has to do such activities that again it gets re-elected for another 5 years. So in this way people can check the power of government. Other ways of participating. Elections are usually held once in 5 years. Besides voting, there are other ways of participating in the process of government. People participate by taking an interest in the working of the government and by criticizing it when required. So how we can participate in this matter, that means the process of government. There are other ways of participating in the process of government. Now, what is that process, or what are those processes? People participate by taking an interest in the working of the government and by criticizing it. Whenever we can find whatever is going on in our country, if it is for our benefit, then definitely we will admire the activities of government. And if we find that no, the steps taken by government is actually creating some sort of hindrance, it is creating some sort of problem for us, at that time we can criticize the work of government, this power we are having, and in this way only we can check the power of government. So here one example is given that which shows that what sort of actual power we are having when we are living in a democratic country. In August 2005, when a particular government increased the money people had to pay for electricity, people expressed their disapproval very sharply. So all of a sudden the government has raised the payment which people are supposed to pay for electricity. And at that time, the citizens of India, the people of India, they became quite angry, and they had taken some sort of steps for which the government has to rethink its decision and has to change it. So let's read what it was. So people expressed their disapproval very sharply. They took out rallies. Rallies means mass meeting, and also organized a signature campaign. Campaign means when you are organizing some series of activities or series of actions to try to get or achieve something. It is known as campaign. So signature campaign was there, and signature, you know, signing. So the government tried to explain and defend its decision, but finally listened to the people's opinion and withdrew the increase. So when the government saw that the citizens, they are out for rallies and they are organizing the signature campaign, at that time the government, it tried to defend itself. It tried to explain that why, for what reason I have, that means the government has raised the money which the people had to pay or have to pay for the electricity. At that time, people didn't listen, and government, it has to rethink its decision, and it withdrew the increase. So the increase in the money, the increase in the payment for electricity, it was withdrawn by the government because of the pressure given by these people. People means we, the citizens of India. The government had to change its decision because it is responsible to the people. The government is responsible for us. So when we are showing our disapproval, and that also in such massive manner, at that time the government has to think and it has to act accordingly. So there are many ways in which people express their views and make governments understand what actions they should take. So what sort of actions the people can take to show that the people, they are against the decisions of government? Just by these ways, like dharnas, rallies, strikes, signature campaigns, etc. So to make the government understand what actions they should take, so people, they can take some measures, like these include dharnas, rallies, strikes, signature campaigns, etc. Things that are unfair and unjust are also brought forward. Some activities of government which people think that it is injustice or it is a matter of unfair activity, then at that time people can just convey their message through the news channel, through the newspaper, through magazines, and in this way. So if you just turn on your television and just sit or view a news channel, at that time you will find that some people, they are saying against the activities of government, and some are saying for the activities of the government. That means some are protesting, and whereas some are there to appreciate the steps taken by the government. So newspapers, magazines and TV also play a role in discussing government issues and responsibilities. During this COVID-19 pandemic time only, you can find that whenever you are going through, or whenever you are watching or viewing any news channel, at that time you can find that so many people, they are saying against the steps taken by government to deal with this problem of COVID-19. While it is true that a democracy allows people to participate, it is also true that not all sections of people are actually able to do so. So democracy has given us the power that we can exercise our power and check the control, or better to say, we can control or we can check the power authorities of the government. But it is also true that it is not same for all. So in that case, what they can do, another way for people to participate is by organizing themselves into social movements that seek to challenge the government and its functioning. So people, they can form some sort of organization, and they can just act, or they can just challenge the activities of the government. So if I read this portion once more, you will come to know that while it is true that a democracy allows people to participate, it is also true that not all sections of people are actually able to do so. So another way for people to participate is by organizing themselves into social movements. So people can move for social movements, organizing a group or forming an organization. Forming an organization, people can move for social movements that seek to challenge the government and its functioning. Members of the minority community, Dalits, Adivasis, women and others are often able to participate in this manner. So what they do, they form some sort of organization and they seek to challenge the government and its functioning just by some sort of social movements. Okay. So in our countries, people are alert. Sorry, I have read it wrong. If a country's people are alert and interested in how the country is run, the democratic character of the government of that country will be stronger. So we the people, we are responsible for this democratic type of government. Here we are having some sort of crucial role to play. So if we are not just alert about our activities, and if we are not alert about how the government is working, then in that case the true essence of this democracy we cannot understand. So for understanding this one, we have to participate, we have to take interest in the works of government. If it is something problematic, we have to protest, and if it is something for our benefit, we have to just appreciate it. And in that case only the democratic system will become quite stronger in the country. So the next time we see a rally winding through the streets of our cities and towns or villages, we should pause to find out what the rally is about. We should not say, "Are abar michil." No, we should not say. Rather, we must come to know, we must try to seek the reason behind this rally, the reason behind this mass meeting. We have to take interest here. So we have to find out what the rally is about, who is participating in it, and what they are protesting about. If it is a matter of protesting, then why they are protesting? What is the matter? So this will help to give us a sense of how our government works. So in this way, we can come to know the working pattern or the way of functioning of the government, or how the government functions. So up to this we have read. So children, I hope it is possible for you to understand. So before I leave, I must come to know that whether you are having any sort of problem or query.